All right, I'm on mute. Thank you very much. Telephone? That really effing pisses me off because I've been talking to you, Oliver Klein, for about an hour. Yeah, no sound. You got to tell me, guys. But, anyways, like I was saying, spirits, demons, people say don't interact with them. Not everybody that sees demons or spirits or entities interact with them at all. Some people are stuck with their presence. Often that's what happens. In my case, that's it. I don't do incantations, thus not calling them, right? I don't stare at the shadows and dare my shadow to talk to me because it's already happened, right? I spoke to you all about that one. It was a very scary moment in my life. And I don't have to flip out about not being able to expose the moon to 8 billion people. I don't have to. I found it. And the same thing with spirits. I have a lot of encounters and I've had many weird things happen to me. When I talk about paranormal, often it's a very touchy, emotional topic for some because some people connect, some people talk about the paranormal when there's a family member that moves on. It's not only about, hey, stop interacting with demons. When you go through something in your life and you meet or witness what you believe is a real entity in your own home and no one's around you, but it was beautiful or scary, you'll tend to, at one point, maybe want to share some of those things. Of course, there's lots of liars. I could be a liar. I could be saying things myself, right? But I'm sure, and I know in the past when I've mentioned some of these spiritual encounters, I've noticed a lot of you say, Bruce, it's, a lot of similarities that we have with these encounters. And honestly, a lot of it, most of it, what I've encountered has literally defied reality, always defied reality. And when I was 6 years old, when I lost my father, I'm pretty sure there was energy to that. And this is an interesting fun stream. Also, we're not talking about sad emotions, but ghosts, and your mind is strong enough to be sad enough, emotionally sad, to want to seek a loved one, to be able to connect to them, not only because your energy is trying to reach them, but because they hear you. And that's the most beautiful thing. And that's something that can't be taken away from somebody that loses. I don't leave your opinions if you disagree with it. I'm all for it. But I'm saying you can't change someone's perspectives or you can indoctrinate someone, brainwash someone, mind control someone, you can seduce someone, you can try to intimidate someone. But in reality, when you encounter an entity, it might change your life. Me, it changed my life. I have a protection that is linked to these encounters. And that's where some of you, and in a most respectful way, a lot of you tell me, Bruce, put salt around the house, frankincense, myrrh. I know all about exorcisms. I know all about having, salt in the corners and getting your house blessed and that. But aside from that, you know, demons tricking you. I've never been tricked by a demon. Haven't felt any yet. Haven't seen any horns or, I've seen an old man. It was a Quaker man. He was very, very frightening. And I was 5 years old. My eyes red. I was 5 years old or 6 years old, maybe before my father died. And I saw an old man in a black, high top Quaker hat. And I only say Quaker hat because I realized when I was in my 20s, right, that he had a buckle. So whatever, whether it's Quaker or not, he looks like the guy on the oatmeal, right? That's exactly what I saw. He looked very mean. He had very black eyes. It was maybe me. In my older days, I don't think I'd have that happen. Then again, I have some wacky hats. But it was interesting. Scary as hell, but interesting. And the first thing that comes to my mind when I see things like that, I say, first of all, if somebody died here on the land, it's not if. How many farms have been exactly where you are, or how many times has someone owned the land where you are and died and then sold it and died? Maybe it was transferred over to the government, and and all that, So AB Freeman, thanks. Yeah, well, the myrrh, frankincense and myrrh, they actually use both of them for exorcists, so they say, but right on, man. I hear you, man. I've been having a lot of fun. I'm sorry then. Maybe I misread you, bro. I've been having a lot of fun here these days with the same regular situations. But thanks, man, for being here. I appreciate that, man. And thanks for letting me know. Thanks for opening up, brother. I believe you. Can you hear me now? I was talking away to Oliver Klein, not saying anything. you know. Sorry about that, Oliver. Jen, how's it going? Andrew's here. Listening at the gym, can't respond to live chat except, oh yeah, try it. Actually, one dumbbell, one hand, and just say hello. No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I hope you have headphones on, Christy, because people are going to say, who the hell are you listening to? It is, Oliver. It absolutely is. I did, Jason. I honestly did think that you were maybe going to troll or something, and I thought it was funny. I was going to reply. I'm sorry again if you say you did. It wasn't. You were sort of perfectly timed with something that happened, so I get it. No problem. But as for the question of what you had asked, um, it's because I don't talk about them on the videos. I've mentioned it a few times here because there was a problem with that person, but you can check it out. Most of the videos are about me, but aside from that, all is good. All is good. Beverly Braley, thank you very much. Big hugs, Bruce. Glad I caught the live. Thank you very much for that. Wednesday, woo already again. Smush the like. Karen, thanks for being here. Yeah, guys. Sure, it's really fun talking about spirits. Oliver says it's a very touchy thing for sure. It really is a touchy situation. But I'll tell you what, um, letting you all know, okay, there is a contact with a living family member that dies and passes on the other side. It can happen spontaneously. I'm not going to rule out, and much respect to those who say they're demons coming back and acting as your relatives. That's okay to say, but you have no proof of that. And honestly, most of the situations, you never really hear somebody that saw an entity and that he pretended to be someone. Or if somebody comes back and says, I love you, how is the demon trying to enter you? He's not going to be able to, even if it's a family member, somebody that's very intuitive, and I know a couple of them, will know that the energy is false energy. But again, we're just talking in the air. We're talking about spirits, so we're just talking in the air. I'm just sharing a whole bunch of things because don't forget, I'm not telling you to head towards the light, or I'm not telling you to interact with every spirit and not even worry or protect yourself. You must always be surrounded by light. You need to know nothing else. All the trends that are going on online, the paranormal investigators, we got one that comes here. He's doing real paranormal investigations. Why isn't he using boxes that say, the names and stuff like that? That's another thing, guys. Okay. The ghost boxes, this is going to be mixing up for some people. We're going to make it simple. Static noise, the old Casios or whatever. It's not Casio. Then you know what I'm talking about. The boxes that record voice in the 90s and the end of the 80s. A lot of you researchers and paranormal researchers, investigators know that you can pick up static noise. It's good because it's random noise. And I say it's good because it's interesting. But I'm not saying the ghost applications are the same. I was very disappointed. I rarely have time to watch videos online, rarely, except when it's a documentary or something about heliophysics or my work, ufology. No, not really, but you know what I mean, related to my work. But some people are using a ghost application, several of them, that say that the ghost applications are pretty good. So, like you all, you know that there are some paranormal investigators out there. And again, I'm not talking about Christie, not talking about the people that we know that have the boxes that pick up the noise. That's legit, right? As legit as we can get. But there are applications, ghost applications, that pick up on words that are spoken. I know it for a fact because I saw over 7 to 10 paranormal investigators this week and looked at the random channels. Some of the young ones are making very good videos. They're probably getting some real activity. I'm not saying everything's fake, but the ghost boxes, and I'm not going to use that word because it's actually a type one, the ghost applications, the ones with your phones, okay? The one when you're sitting on the bowl and you want to see if there's any ghosts in the toilet and you ask who their name is and they'll say Karen or Michael or you know what I mean? Well, they pick up on words. How do I know this? I saw 12 and I wrote them down, every sentence, full sentences that appeared on every single paranormal investigation video where they were using that application. Okay. I'm going to give you an example without if you know the channels, you probably know who I'm talking about because I'm not naming any names here, right? Because some of them know that. And there are some very good channels. You got some of them that start off the showing or the show or starting off the investigation, let's say, paranormal investigation by saying to the ghost after turning on the application, "Hi, I'm Michael. This is Rember. That's Paul. That's Terry. This is Glenn. This is Frank," and then they start talking. Wow, apparently there's been some bodies buried here. It's a show. I'm telling you, I see it very well in my eyes. There's been some bodies buried here, and they'll tell you the story of the history of a place, which often is true. I'm not saying it's not true, but it's where they are is true. What they're trying to do is probably looking like it's true, but the way they're doing it is misleading and very, very much a big lie with those applications because you hear, "I'm buried here. She's buried here. Children are singing." I heard that 12 times. Children are singing. And after they gave their names and talked about the history of the place, we started hearing words coming in that were really related to exactly what they were saying about the investigations. Like literally the school names. Like you'd say, well, here at Barrington Memorial High School, it's probably a real high school. I'm just going to start naming names. Barrington, maybe it's the Newman. Barrington Memorial High Schools, was something horrible happened. And, I got to be careful. These names of schools could probably be real schools, but you know what I mean? I'm making up names. And then that application starts shooting out words. Michael. They said my name. And look, Michael is beside one of those boxes. Look, one of those boxes just went off. It's all that's bullshit. And the same sentences that they're saying, um, um, 90 degrees, or you hear them buried here. It's often the same bloody sentences that are always recurring. When you hear somebody that has a box and says, records his voice or her voice and says, "Are you a demon?" You can ask it and you record and you wait in silence. You stop it, you rewind it, you play it back. And when you listen to it, it happens. These are real. I don't know if it's really a ghost, but there are real voices coming in responding, seem to respond. And you can hear in the back, "Go away," or "I hate you," and you can hear this coming in on these boxes. I love it. Some people have made the boxes better so that the static that you hear like all the time, is, and only the voice part appears. I got nothing against that either. I think it's very interesting. But the ghost applications, okay, which are basically for kids, we have big channels with millions, 4 to 6 million subscribers, right? Has nothing to do with jealousy. I'm just telling you guys, when you go to a channel, They'll add music, which is very professional, some of them, but they're in a spooky place and stuff. But notice what they're using with, you know, um, which applications that they're using. If they're using an application, and notice the sentences yourself on different channels, if it's the exact same sentences coming up, notice what the sentences will be. It's always related to the words that are being spoken in the video from the people themselves. And I heard the box in one, or the application in one of the videos say, Barrington Memorial. Whoa. So it's a ghost from the Barrington M School. And oh my goodness, it must have been somebody that died here. They said it in history. And it brings people in, entices them. Sometimes it scares them because the videos are spooky. They're going upstairs. And some of them are probably really trying to do some real ghost research. But not all of them are doing so. Me to the point that the more I talk about them, and when I do talk about them, very odd things happen. Okay, which is normal. A bird can land in the yard spontaneously. Doesn't mean because you're talking about ghosts that it would. But often I'll see orbs on the video while I'm talking on live stream when I mention them, like twice in the past. Go outside and you see birds or a bunch of negative crows are around, and and often people speak about their experiences based on trends, like the way I mentioned crows. I've noticed black crows; they are spooky, but a lot of people will say the black crows appeared. The winds went up, because we always go and get what we hear in the movies about things that are happening. My encounters are totally whacked, very odd. They defy reality. My friend's shadow stopped moving, and you're going to tell me, Bruce, the shadow's a reflection. And you're right. I'm not going to say anything against that. But why do things happen that we can't explain? And some people painstakingly try to convince and explain what they've seen. And I'm not here for that. Most of us here are open minded. I think it's a subject that is so interesting. When they say you talk about an angel, well, one is watching you. Well, I tell you, when you're talking about a ghost, I'm pretty sure that there's, energy, and not that they're watching you, but that there's energy in the place. Why do some people say, when you see videos of ghosts, some people say that they see a silhouette. I love the ones that just slide by. It's just like the feet aren't moving, they slide by, or they walk by, they appear, disappear. It's very interesting. It looks realistic if they are real. But somebody that tells me that they saw, a spirit that was dressed like in the 1800s, well, that's a completely different thing. That's scary as hell, because that's not a spirit. If you're seeing something being replayed, think of this. It's crazy, right? So I've never seen a spirit completely dressed. I've never seen a spirit in a physical form to the point where, oh my God, I literally saw a ghost. It's always been shapes and forms, balls of light and stuff like that. Probably basically the same way that I'm viewing the lights outside. But like in ufology, there's a misunderstanding with the lights. Why are they adding new names to the field of research? It's deliberate. It's because there's too many different types of sightings, and probably many different types of frequencies and events that are from different things. One could be ghosts, one could be, MK Ultra mind controlling spirits, one could be aliens, advanced aliens. So many theories when it comes to, you know, spirits, ghosts, and people say, well, don't interact with a demon. If someone's in your room every friggin' night, sitting there, moving around or staring at you and banging shit or throwing tripods down on the floor, you do try to interact with them. They might try to get close to you by pretending you're a family relative. I'm not going to blow that off as ridiculous. It's an interesting theory, but I'm just saying, and I agree, with your theories, guys, on that. But I just hope that people won't remain stuck on the fact to be careful, like to never use your own judgment, let's just say, when it comes to something going on in the house. Maybe something's trying to reach you, speak to you. If they are, they're not going to do it in a way that it's going to horrify you. If you feel horrified because an energy is next to you, it could be that it is a demon. I believe that, right? Because in theory, I felt once an appearance, only once in my life, I'm not going to lie, that it was something very sinister. But again, that was just my intuition at the point that I felt that frequency, because usually I'm neutral. Usually I'm not emotional or anything. I'm I remember always afterwards, and it's happened quite a few times, and I just look at what's going on. Like I'm breathing and everything. I'm just not reacting, just waiting for something to finish, you know? And then when it stops, it's like it's like I guess a trance. I guess sort of a trance, but while you're awake. That's a little scary. But yeah. Only once I've been held down in my bed, and honestly don't even talk about it too much because I don't want it to happen again. Okay. And couldn't breathe and stuff like that. Had nothing to do with sleep apnea either. It was I was taking off my socks, okay, and I was pushed into my bed, lying down, and just sat there. And I remember hearing myself go, and not realizing I was even not breathing, that I was trying to breathe, and I woke up again in a trance. That's happened a couple of times. You know, hasn't happened when I've been flying planes or while I've been driving cars. So that's a good thing as long as it doesn't happen then, you know. But ghosts and entities are real. If you have a family member that moves on, you know, you lose a child, you lose a father or mother, you're not religious, you're an atheist, you don't even want to attempt to speak to them because you're afraid that you'll, you know, ridiculing yourself. I try it because you are going to be answered. Those who don't want to be answered will not be answered. Those who are afraid of spirits will not see spirits. Some people are horrified and see spirits. Can you call that a demon if you're not calling them there? You know, there's no reason why somebody should see somebody in the past, right? Ouija boards, people say, well, you're talking to ghosts. We're trying to interact with ghosts from the 1800s and stuff. How the hell do the ghosts know how to speak English and write to you in English? I know you're going to say that's why it's a hoax, but it's not. It's a little scary, actually, that something can answer you in English. Now, maybe not every one of you have had a reply. I had, you know, a quarter of a book of messages, perfectly written, very many spelling errors, but reasonably understandable with the words that they were saying. I met a girl called Leah. She said that she was a child that was in smoke. I said, are you dead? And she says, no. You know, and she didn't go, no. It was written, no. Okay. Written, no. She would never go to the no or goodbye. She would write no, really slowly, dragging along the board. And I remember trying that at a young age. And don't forget, when I tried the Ouija board, it was because it was a game that every kid my age, like a lot of you, had from Parker Brothers. That was a mystical game to play, a lot like Monopoly, right? And then the movies came from it, and a lot of things came out of it. It's very scary to see some people what they do with the boards, like, you know, dripping their blood on it and saying, you know, they do everything with the board to try to get a reaction. Maybe a spirit's not going to jump out to a bunch of, you know, drunk group of men and women just having fun, you know, asking random dates and questions. It's scary when something appears, and often a lot of people don't realize that maybe that entity is afraid of you, because the one I saw was afraid of us, and that one, it blew my mind away. And I said, we always assume that there's a ghost there that's going to try and horrify you. I mean, who sees that? Who sees a demon? I mean, sure, maybe some of you have. Okay, I've felt one, but I've never, can't really honestly say that I've seen them. You know, when I talk about them, shit happens a lot, and I like it. There's something about that energy. You know, I don't tantalize it. I don't tempt it. I don't push it. But when an energy appears in the house, I'm always brave, and it never seems to be my bravery. Because at night, I don't know if you know it, even if this is my house, there's a guy that died here. He was a good guy, apparently, but still, Upstairs, the noise and the movements here has always been. But whoever has never done anything bad to me, right? Maybe I am having something bad happening to me and I wouldn't know it. Yeah, I hear you. It's probably possible, but it's not me going to get all these uh, beings or entities or just, balls of energy, whatever you want to call them. Never, never a completely different encounter. It's always the same look or feel, you know, but frequencies are very, very real. And I see them around in the daytime. Almost dropped my coffee there. I see the ghost did it. I think it's one of the most interesting conversations because people, when they use a Ouija board, use it like you're trying to see if somebody's there. Ask them a date. Start talking about where are you? What's the date? To see if the reaction is going to be the same as somebody saying, did you die here? Are you in heaven? Ask it like something that's not spiritual. Like, what are you doing today? Just keep asking that to see reaction. I'm telling you guys, you get reactions, and the board's communicating with something. Okay. And I don't know how, because if a French person plays it, it'll respond in French. How is that? If it's not somebody moving the board. I played alone and it moved alone. I bought one last year to see if it would work again. It didn't move at all with me. Uh, Probably doesn't have to. And again, I closed that portal that was connecting me and my dad, not completely, but there was something open, and I believe that I tried to close it. I tried to do like in a poltergeist movie, minus the fan and the music, you know, be gone. In the name of Jesus Christ's blood and all this, you know. Is it that they don't like Jesus Christ and that's why they leave? Or is it when you say the words, I command you to leave? If there's a negative energy here, how the hell can they speak the same language as you? Probably can't. That's probably why there's just an interaction. Getting scratched is something that then you start getting into something really serious. Poltergeist. I've had my foot scratched, 3 lines going up on the feet. I remember many years ago, the beginning of the time I was here, even thought it was me. Told my mother that must be, in the basement. I went downstairs. There was a jar of screws opened up all over. I have one jar of screw downstairs, guys. I don't have a workshop. It's one jar of screws. Okay. It was opened up, broken glass, under my foot. And I didn't get up at all. I'm sure I didn't get up. Weigh a ton. If I walk through the house, I'm going to remember. Pretty sure I'm going to bump something when I go downstairs. That has happened before. The scratch on my face, it went right from the cheek all the way down to my chin here underneath there. And I said, how the hell could I have scratched myself like that? My nails are so short, guys. Look at the skin passing on the back, passing the nails. Like they're always so short, I couldn't have scratched myself like that. But people say, well, you have a demon in your house. Could be. We're talking theory here. I believe that a portal's open, whether it be open all the time or not, people can come in, and it's always a different entity. Something, bad or whatever goes by you. Why would there be something bad out there? It defies what God says, often, right? But then again, when you read, thoroughly any book, of wisdom, there's always omitted parts. So sometimes you got to wonder, what's going on. They tell us about gargoyles. They tell us about gargoyles. They tell us about ectoplasm. Then you have people saying it was crazy. I had gelatin on my wall. I was seeing ghosts. It's like people like adding, some spectacular things to happen. I've seen water appear on the floor with near salt lamps. It had maybe nothing to do with the salt lamps. It didn't rain. Okay, it was a hot sunny day. I'm not going to hide it. Humidity could have made the salt lamps lamps wet because it's something that happens. If you leave it in a bag, it'll become wet. It can create water all the time. Himalayan salt lamp. But the floor was drenched. And that room in the back and right here on the counter, right beside the water, the sink, and the bathroom sink. Those are three areas, and upstairs also, especially upstairs the other day. It was, and it's never anything much, banging and clanging, but I would prefer banging and clanging, but they don't. They take 2 or 3 steps. That freaks me out a little bit because when you hear steps, I just always look up and like, what the hell. But I get activity there. Uh, Rinsed out 4 glasses. They were lifted up. There were bottles. There were somebody took 2 bottles in one hand, 2 in the other hand, and went bling, 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 as I was again taking off my socks, sitting on the edge of the bed. Come running down. One I've never told you guys yet, or maybe I have a while back, is my grandfather's clock. My grandfather's clock, okay, that clock, okay, sang 3 different songs the first week that I got that clock. Sang 3 different songs, and it only has 1 song. It played Yankee Doodle. I don't care whether you guys don't believe me or not. It did. And it played different tunes. And when it was playing the different tunes, it was going like like it was all screwed up, like it was a frequency in the air. I've seen that. I've witnessed that. I've seen that with my own 2 eyes, and frequent enough when I'm alone. Sounds weird, eh? Oh, you liar. Well, it's true. When I'm alone, those things happen. Um, you know, I saw 1 UFO or 3 UFOs with my son once in all my time of research. Okay. Only once when he was with me, my son saw something in the sky. So I tend to believe some people have a certain energy that either through you, they come in because you're stronger than someone else, or maybe your aura, your pineal gland is more in tuned. A frequency or spirit could sense that, and just go towards you without even probably knowing that you're, who you are. A little crazy, too crazy. Jules of Southern Oregon, thank you so much. Yeah, that's what you were saying, Christy. Some hot, hot, hot weather coming. And of course, like I said a couple days ago, it's going to be either stinking hot or it's going to be cold. It's really cool here. Not right now because now it's 75 in the house. It's not, this morning there was frost, not ice, frost on the ground when I went for my walk this morning at 5:09. Freezing. It was freezing outside. I had again a spring coat. Since the 12th of April, when I started doing the walking, I've been wearing this skimpy ass coat because none of the other coats fit me. So I don't want to look like a big balloon with a winter coat in May walking around. Yes, this is where I'm at, guys. So it was freezing this morning, just freezing. And immediately at 10:30, 11 o'clock already, my mother said that it was already beautiful outside and she'd been outside. I was like, it's cold. I went outside and then whoop, I was able to see that nope, it's actually pretty warm. So we're going to see a lot of dips. 3 coronal mass ejections in a row. 2 halo coronal mass ejections facing Earth. One was a mild one, which shouldn't create too much damage. And when I say damage, it starts, radios and stuff like that. Telephones and static, and they don't really talk much about it, but honestly, that's what happens when the sun is really bad. We get the lights can even flicker. I mean, it must play a toll on Hydro-Quebec here or something. There's something about that. Suspicious Skies 3045. Thanks so much for coming by, you guys. Morning to you, Evelyn. Evelyn, up morning in New Zealand. How are you, my friend? I love you. Thanks for coming by. Yes. No Murray. I can't stand the smell of them. I don't shrivel up and turn into a demon there, but it burns the hell out of my nostrils. Burning that in the house, boy. I used to burn a lot when I was younger, and It's like you're smoking it, you know. Ben, else, merci mon frère. Thank you very much, brother. Hello, hello, Vinny. Vinny's in the house. Elias, thank you very much for the generous contributions, you guys, and all of you. Thank you for being here. Lover of the Lord. Hey, you want to jump on Friday night? On a private or something like that? Check that out, if ever. Like after the 8 o'clock one. I don't know if it's gonna be too late for you or time change. I wasn't thinking of that. I didn't forget you, man. Looking forward to it, bro. Lover of the Lord in the house. Thank you for the generous support, man, for being here. And in every way that you guys support the channel. Thank you very much. Views are low yet again. Very odd. 2 or 3 days in a row. Maybe there's a little glitch or something going on. Again, thanks for being here, Jason. All good, man. Thank you very much. My apologies, actually. Got to admit when you're wrong in life. I see everything, but I don't know everything. Thanks, Jason. So glad to see everyone. Yeah, you too, Bruce. Jules of Southern Oregon. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, you guys. Yeah, sort of had him on my mind, I think, Jason, at that time. Yeah, pretty much. One of my mom's friends had us come over to her house because she wanted to show how haunted her house was. Always an exciting moment, eh? And it was cabinet doors opening all the time. It was crazy walking up and down the stairs. No one, that is nuts. Nuts. I mean, that's, it has to be someone that was living there. And often, the house is older, or it's a house that was not, ever taken down, or never had a fire, or maybe it did have a fire or something. There's lots of stuff that can happen. Boy, it's just so damn interesting. White sage, that's what I have here. Right on, be free, man. Sage smells good too, boy. Random Ralph, good evening, and BSA fam. Thanks a lot, you guys. Yeah, scary indeed, Darla. Star Hunter in the house. How's it going, my brother? You're another one, Star Hunter. One point you said instead of typing sometimes, after a stream one day or something, if ever you want to chat, if it's easier for you, you don't have to show your face either. Try to make some things accessible for some of you. And I'll be honest, it touched my heart that some of you want to interact with me. I think it's super cool. And I really appreciate that. I almost forgot Bruce has spirit stuff. My mind tries to separate UAP and spirit. See, that's a good thing, be free man, because UAPs and spirits can be two different things. It can be the same thing, or they really can be different. That's why in the field of ufology and paranormal investigation and researching, for me, it's the same field, but a different branch, much like the CIA, the FBI. Same field, different branch. They do different things a little bit. They look at different things, right? One, the ufologist is maybe not looking in the house at lights. And when he sees a light in his house, like a small UFO or UAP, he's going to turn around and say, well, I'm paranormal researching, and that's a spirit. It remains that the coincidence that the similarities that they both have, ghosts and UFOs, we can agree or disagree. Energy, light, and darkness. Say part light, part darkness. You hear the yin, the yang. And those are other things. I know a lot about terms like karma and stuff, and reincarnation. But honestly, I like trying to sound out what we're seeing visually without jumping on terms, because often people will go right to a term and it's normal there, but people turn around and say, cleansing the house, yes, but not wanting to know what's going on, maybe it's not the good thing. Maybe there's someone trying to give you a message, but that's just my thing. I felt protected. I've been protected by some of them. It could be a demon that protected me. I'm trying to agree with everyone. Maybe Bruce, the demon protected you because he wants to get on your side. That starts getting a little scary and makes me open my mind and intuition a bit more. But I'm still not going to be judgmental until it thrashes me, or until, the scratch in the face was a bit much, with the drop of little speck of blood there, but like someone put their friggin' nail in my face. Big, long, wide one all the way down. It looked horrible. Remember going on the bus that day. It was like, hey, Bruce, how's it going, man? Monday morning with a big scratch on the face. Meet anyone this weekend, Bruce? It was a little weird. I've had many UFOs, says Jules, and spiritual encounters, and I believe it. And a lot of us have, and we can't prove it, right? Because it's things that happen when we never have a camera, right? I was lucky enough to get 3 amazing videos on this channel. My alarms, the smoke alarms going off on all levels of the house right after a massive rain and thunderstorm. The telephone replying back, 3 times, 5 times, the number of times that I'm asking it to do. And I record it because it's interesting. Somebody might say, Bruce, it's satellites going over your house that's interacting and disrupting your phone. I'm okay with that. But it's interesting that we can find out things that people don't really notice, that are going on. Some weird things are happening. Suspicious Skies said you cannot trust the phone app. You have to actually have a real device to get that stuff for real. Yes. And it's the real static noise. Sounds like a radio going and stuff. You can do it without that. You can do it with it, which can maybe pick something up. Like, again, you shouldn't be used unless you're asking a direct question and it literally asks you, how many children do you have? We are 15 kids, But then again, if you ask, where are the children that were here? I remember that fake video of the guy with a big channel. He's a researcher, he says, and good videos, interesting videos. They're not real, but it's too bad. I think it was talking about the children. There were children here. There were children here at one point. This was a school. The children, I even heard some children were buried here. Then they open their mouths and they're all flipping out because the machine said buried here. Well, they just said buried here. Of course, the machine's going to repeat what you're saying. But the static noise box, or like when you're recording and stuff like that's coincidence, right? Like when you record, that's the best one there so far. Like, is there anyone in the room with me? And you hear, yes. There you have a clear direct contact. It's incredible. But, using an application that says, are you buried at this tree? They open their mouth and then there's the music again. It's ridiculous. Sometimes it's almost hilarious, Yeah, exactly. But some people are really watching. Like we're talking, Jason, like 10 million views, that people are getting with these videos that, they're looking at applications and stuff. So it's like, for me, no, there's something not right about that. Definitely not right about that. App is just an application to your phone. Yeah, exactly. With incense, I think willpower should be stronger than the sense. V Freeman, you're right about that. Exactly. Someone that has the energy. And me, whatever happened is when things, hi Darla, when things started appearing, maybe it was that I was guided to know what to do, but I was doing stuff and it was a little scary. Not possessed, but I just knew some words to say to protect myself. And it was like, oh my God, a friggin' angel or some being is trying to get whatever's caught onto me. Now, sounds a little far fetched, right? But sometimes, getting scratched or whatever, it doesn't mean something hates you or that it's an evil entity that's there to do something. Could be just a passing by entity, or who knows, or maybe it was my finger that scratched my face. I don't know. Would have had to have been pretty mad and scratch myself like that. I sleep on my side with my hands under my pillow. Sometimes I turn on my back, but I'm awake at that point when I'm on my back. I don't know if some of you are like me. I'm sleeping on one side and on the back. I won't go to sleep, but I'll lie down and rest, and then I can go back to sleep when I turn back around. But hey, Pat, thanks for being here, man. Oh yeah, there's a lot of cool friggin' apps that can really do a lot of stuff. But there's even, ghost applications that spot ghosts in your house. I mean, that's, I'm not saying anyone's using that one, but that's, some of them are really for kids. But the static noise one, there's one online. I wouldn't trust it. I tried it, and I don't know. I'm not sure about it. But the one there, a voice recorder, where you say, "Is there anyone in this room?" and you play it back and you hear a voice that appears in it and you didn't manipulate it, there's definitely someone answering you. And it's simple. The frequency is being picked up. Real quickly in science, right now, I wrote that one in the title, which I should have started by that one. Um, Never fear, but the solar system is coming apart. It's tearing itself apart. That's newest information from scientists. But the good news, I'm just going to say this, I'm going to assume and believe this is real. The solar system has always been coming apart. It's never stopped moving. There was a collision or whatever. There was, the production of all these atmospheres and gases and whatnot, and it's sitting there hovering. Scientists today are trying to find out how the planets are holding up. Just to tell you where we are in science, we're nowhere in science. They're trying to find out how come the planets are holding up. Sub-Neptune exoplanet with ring around it. They have atmosphere. They say that there's a blur that's giving them a hard time to see the atmosphere and the surface, much like the moon, which I believe that they're going to admit it too. The blur that you're seeing on the moon is water vapor. They found water vapor around an exoplanet where Neptune is. Look at the temperatures of some of these planets that has, heavier than hydrogen, they say. Water can be in many states, many forms, right? I believe, possibly in theory, while I'm talking about that too, maybe the solar system is sitting in some type of element like water, and that every time we go near a planet, because of the planet's light, we can see that there's water around the planets. Maybe it's not the atmosphere around the planet. Maybe that water is what is in space. And that's why they do water tests on the rockets. And maybe we're literally traveling through an ocean, like ocean in space. And that's the reason why we could have the helmets, right? Who knows? Maybe outside of our planets, there is water. Maybe the firmament is what's holding this heavy ocean up over top of us. And that is very scary because what I just said, spitting that out like that, is basically what's partly written in the Bible. Exactly just that. The firmament and the waters above as below. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, there's a lot of science in that book. There's a lot of science in that book. Space could absolutely be an ocean. With Zach, but I feel he's gotten commercially. You see that was a good one. It seemed real for sure. I liked he did a bit much sometimes to try to do a serious job because I guess he's a perfectionist. I liked him. Dark hair bit, the guy that bought all the museum stuff, if I'm not mistaken, it had the museum, right? I could be wrong there, but if I think that's the one that I had forgotten his name, yeah, Suspicious Skies, I'm sure that's the one you're talking about. He did get very commercial, and something about the show too. There's lots of videos on YouTube that talking about why, and people are really fast to get on there and never $8. Well, thanks for mentioning it. It's an application that it's shooting out static, and you hear like a radio that's off the channel, but you hear a jumping because it's tracking channels apparently. And then at one point it'll say hello or go away or I'm the devil and It's all words that are put into the program that come out when they hear you saying certain things like, "Are demons real?" Um, an actual bit of an AI, very simple AI, where they'll hear a word and the AI program will go into the dictionary and look under fear. Well, fear, scared, horror. So they'll say horror. Why are you saying horror? What horror? What horror? Then they make up a story about it. And some of the videos, Darla, they get 10, 20 million views in a couple of days. And people, want real researching, but they're using that application. It's too bad because in the places that they're at, and here's the reality of it all. When you go ghost hunting, there's one here that comes here, Sprad Paranormal. He doesn't make a video until he sees a ghost or whatever. He'll do investigations, and if he sees something, he'll post it. But often people that have channels will need to post every day, like me with the UFOs. I don't have a UFO every day, right? If I did, maybe, you'd say, well, aren't there any days that he doesn't see a UFO in the sky? Which, Darla and everyone, remember the trolls to say that? No, this guy gets UFO every day. There's groups of UFOs that come during certain days. Do you believe that some people are, for whatever the reason, um, more likely to see UFOs? And maybe it's not everybody, absolutely everybody, that's actually seeing the UFOs. Maybe it's, spontaneously, depending on what they're looking for. Test it out for yourselves. Talk about something out of your normal, then watch your Google News. Andrew, you know it. We've been saying it for a long time. I've been saying it for a long time too. You're absolutely right about that. They pick up, yes, your cell phone, he says, not only your cell phone, the computer. Absolutely incredible. Videos of fasting. You know what somebody sent me? Not somebody sent me, YouTube recommended me. Now they're recommending me food videos. I'm effing fasting. Uh, Send me keto diets. Don't send me anything else. But now they're going to, and they do. They sent me this guy that made the biggest omelet in the world. Right when I told people that I had quit cheese, no, right side, right. Actually, it's the heart side. There we go. I swear to you, okay. I was getting the Cracker Barrel announcement. I bet you one of you got it today. An Asian woman with black hair, you know, comes up to the screen, and she bites into this big ass brick of black. Is it Black Diamond or Cracker Barrel? One or the other, maybe the same one. Okay. And she bites into it, but just goes to show that I have a hard time not eating cheese. So they're showing me the image. I'm okay now, but it's just the idea of it all. It's like the AI is there, like Andrew says, to go and know. Listen, they know everything. They know what you're doing on your cell phone. They know what you're looking for. They know what you dislike online. Facebook was an experiment, guys. So was the internet, right? And a lot of people say that the internet's going to go down, but I don't think it will. I don't think it will. I think they'll have rolling blackouts. Okay, if there's a blackout, we might not have a choice. But honestly, the government would lose contact with us. They're going to do everything in their power to keep the internet up, to know where everyone is. And not just that, Google, by now, the satellites are using it, and everything, This just in, a couple days ago, Google founder subpoenaed to court. He is in big doo doo and he's disappeared. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm sort of carefully studying the UFOs, UAPs. Seems good and some bad. I would believe that. I would believe that. I think you're probably right, which is a scary thing, because that means there could be lights in the sky where one of them's an angel and the other one's a devil. That would be very, very scary. I do believe that there could be bad entities and spirits. Um, yeah, I believe they can intertwine with the good spirits that can come, you know, possibly on this side. How? I don't know, but I do believe it's true. Stephen A., thanks a lot for being here. Yeah, right on, man. Laptop too. My case, my computer, absolutely. I see one back in the late 70s. They showed me tech. That's very interesting, Dave. So you'd have to say, man, that is something maybe to help you or hinder you, but I would say help you, maybe make you learn something. At some point, they have to want us to share some of what we learn. Like maybe just you just coming by here, just letting me know that little messages that are given, neurons, frequencies. Imagine being able to see our frequencies when we're talking from one person to another, to see the all the friggin' frequencies that are jumping onto somebody else. Can you imagine that? I think of things like that all day long, like hundreds of thousands of cool stuff like that all day long. My brain is continually, imagine if that's that. What if that's that? In a way, I don't leave any corner hidden. I don't leave anything unturned. I turn everything over. I look at everything 2 or 3 times. I'll go back the next day. There's always a possibility. Um, we're surrounded by entities, I believe, or frequencies. Could it be just communication that's flying through the air that we get from loved ones that have moved on and we hear messages? You got to wonder, are they actually alive in their next step of their lives, and that by that point when you move on, when you're considered deceased, is that where they tell you everything, and that some of them actually come back and have access? Is like, it's not forbidden, it's just maybe they'll pick you up, maybe they won't pick you up. Talk about that for hours. For me, it's just something incredibly interesting. Miss Julie Stats, thanks again. On and off, you guys come in, come out. I love you guys. Thank you, Julie, for becoming a member again. You guys, thank you very, very much. I wasn't able, Julie, tried to comment on your armadillo video, and I wasn't able to. Then I was able to. It was glitching. It showed a whole bunch of long, announcements, which you're not even monetized, which is not cool because you're not plastering ads on your videos, right? It's simple, like what I do is I put one up at the beginning, and it should be three the whole friggin' video of 10-15 minutes. There shouldn't be, and all in the same place, 2 10 seconds or 15-second ones. But there's lots of glitches. You're not alone. It happened on other channels that I go to. Your channel today was glitched on that video. If ever it was glitched all the time, I'll let you know. But don't be alarmed if you see little glitches. The view counts, Julie, on some of the channels seem to be a little off too. Like the views here are really, really low. Sometimes it's a glitch. It's not always a hacker or troll, eh? Thank you very much, Julie. I appreciate that. Trudeau still wants VM for 2023. It's in their agenda. He's making me sick, Pat, that guy. I'm telling you. Thanks for sharing that, man. Yeah, absolutely right, man, about that one. Unfortunately. Yeah, Dave. Dave Bongiorno, thank you very much. Yep, a dark matter and an engine. That's a little scary, brother, because they're not talking at all or much about that, the dark matter engine. They're making a matter. They're making an engine now. They're trying, and I'm probably sure that they maybe already have, with helium-3. They want to make a nuclear reactor that works on helium-3 because there's no radiation from that. There's no waste, bio waste once heated, and there's no radiation, like I said, but while it's being heated. So they say, it would be a cleaner energy. You have to wonder, like I mentioned in the last stream, maybe the sun that China is using could be used to grow vegetation on the moon and to make it breathable. It's in the works, guys. They said that the lunar surface can become breathable by changing it, reflecting sunlight on the surface, they said. The reason why there's sunlight on the moon's surface is supposedly because of the Earth reflection. That's hard to understand. I have a hard time understanding that one. 200 likes. Thank you very much, guys. 115 watching. Thank you very much for coming in. Same here, lover of the Lord. Same here, brother. That would be just amazing. It would be a black UFO that would have two colors. It would be able to change itself to white, to blue, to green, or to black. White, blue, green, and black. That way I can land in the snow. I can land on the grass. I can stay up in the sky and hide in the blue sky. With the white, I can hide in the clouds. And in reality, as primitive as what I just said, it's probably that stupid. Cloud Christie's one that likes those too, the theory of the cloud ships. Very interesting. It would make a little too much sense to me that that's all they have to do. Holes all over, pipes all over these craft. When they come in and down, they can form this massive cloud around them and bring gently the cloud down to blend in with the other clouds. Sometimes you see a cloud that has a different hue. But what if some of them or those lights, some type of spirit or entity? So you see, like we were saying with a couple of us here, there's a lot of different encounters, maybe even possibly a lot of different entities or completely different things. Like one's an entity, one's a frequency, one's a ghost, one's an MK Ultra project that's a time machine showing us. Maybe it's past time machines that we're seeing these, scenarios of in the past reoccurring. Because for me, that's very complicated. Seeing something in the past reoccur. To see a ghost dress. I saw my father dressed in a suit with a rose on him, possibly when he was buried, right? Or not. Why would I see my father in a suit when I don't ever remember him in a suit? I was very young. I remember him on a bike with me, working with a hammer on a house somewhere, but in a suit, no. So why do we see these certain things? I understand that the brain is very strong. Somebody that misses a loved one might even think walking across the hall or someone walking into the restaurant was actually their son, husband, mother, wife. But I I understand that, but I'm not going to take away that there is some type of group of beings on the other side. Is it people that were once here and that they're interacting from the other side? Could be. They wouldn't know from that side that they were here, right? So why do they interact with us, remembering us? There has to be some type of, and not all of you have had conversations or whatever. Have been told, somebody. This happened to me several times. Is the block of information? Poof, you see a light, and then the light just told you, just read you a book of information. You didn't hear a sound, but something was inserted inside of your friggin' head. That scares me, because they're doing it now with artificial intelligence. Neuralink, Elon Musk, inside of a pig's brain. Guys, they can control the brain waves. They can make the pig more docile. If that doesn't scare you, nothing ever will scare you. Because if they do that with us eventually, that's a scary thought. Nice biomusic energy, yes, on how to use it. Thanks a lot, Darla. Yeah, good old Steve. Good old Steve Huff. That's one I appreciate. Very interested by his box. At one point, he was selling them, and I didn't get the chance to find out where or if he had any boxes left or if you could make them, because I do want to buy one to do tests here. If I have such an interaction, guys, with energy and the devices. Okay, whether you believe me or not, God bless me, thank God. George Nell, hello. I can do things with devices that other people can't. Sometimes things happen, like my telescope seeing UFOs on the surface, where myself, I say, how in God's name could I have slowed down 2.5 minutes of a footage beside a crater? And why zoom up on that crater and bring the exposure down and sit there for 5 minutes and see a UFO? After that, I start bringing it up and I take 3, 4, 5, 6 hours in a day to look all over the surface. I don't see anything else. You're like, holy shit, how? Intuition. I believe in intuition. Or maybe it's somebody else. Oh, it's jumping around here. Maybe it's somebody else that's giving me some guidance or some information. I believe that for a fact. Port Angeles, Washington State. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all of you who took the time to listen in. There you go, crystals. There's another one. Um, yeah, like the old lamps from the television and stuff. People, that's a bit interesting. I don't know whether they do anything or not, but it seems that they're able to respond. You know, if the guy's not faking or putting anything in his box, I mean, absolutely, very interesting. Um, you know, much appreciation for the paranormal researchers, for sure. But we've all had encounters and we all have different opinions on what we're seeing. And I think it's healthy. I just think it's healthy for us to have all these different opinions. You can pick up figures in an Xbox camera. Thanks for sharing that. I believe that. I believe you could also pick up images on a television. Have you ever been in Valleyfield, in particularly where I was? This happened in one of my apartments. I was living near. Oh my goodness, I'm. That's amazing. That is where I had seen that sphere in the apartment. Also, I was beside a like a cylinder that turned water to bring water to a company, like a Shenley company, to make alcohol. Right, I was very close to it, and but why was I talking about that? Yes, I was watching television, and it can happen. It doesn't mean it's a ghost, but it could be a frequency disturbance. This is something that can happen because of antennas back in the days, you know, rotors and whatnot. I was picking up the parking lot and the guards post at the Shenley, literally at the Shenley in Valleyfield. You can look it up. It's there, Salaberry to Valleyfield. And I was living near there. And I could see outside from two cameras. I could see camera one, camera two in my screen side by side with the bottom of the image of like Seinfeld or whatever was playing on. Okay. Didn't have cable, just moved in, put some antennas and rabbit ears. I've done it before. I've lived not get the cable way back first apartments and just had the bunny ears SOS pad pipe plates. It was awesome. Could see everything, catch 6, 7 channels, you know. But you could pick up other frequencies that are being recorded. So if a portal opens in theory and some entity or energy, quite simply, even maybe even from the sun, comes into Earth atmosphere, gets through the magnetosphere. Okay. I still don't know if the firmament has to do with the magnetosphere, most likely, because they talk about that in the Bible too. If it can get in, we can feel its presence, sense its presence, maybe hear it, maybe smell it because of the eons in the air when a portal opens or when there's a frequency, when there's massive energy, right? Like lightning or something like that. Smell the rain arriving and everything, all those smells, right? You can smell, some people smell rotten eggs when they see ghosts. Completely happened to me, but the rotten flesh, just like someone was breathing with his friggin' mouth open over me. And it would hit me at one point. I didn't tell many people that one. Probably about 2 or 3 months. I looked around the house. I said, there has to be something that I dropped. Some meat or something is something somewhere that smells like death. But then it'd go 2 days not smelling. So I said, it's impossible. It's hot, you know? Those are all things that not everybody realizes or notices, and some of them can be coincidences, but I'm telling you, they're not all coincidences, that's for sure. What the hell? Let me go dump that out. I'm drinking coffee. It doesn't taste like coffee. I don't know what the hell it is. Give me a second. All right, the hell with that. Evening to you, Hauser. How's it going, man? I did not notice that, George. Hope not. My golden horn? My golden telescope. It's a nice telescope, eh? Beautiful telescope. I forgot my guitar in the frame again. They really are. Crows and ravens. Yeah. And do you know they actually speak the ravens? That's incredible. There's some good videos on YouTube of some ravens actually talking. Imagine. That's incredible. Xbox Connect, you said? Another man, you got kids hacking the government through that. Through the Xbox. Sorry about that, guys. I've been coughing for a couple weeks, actually. Maybe the fasting. Oh, that's right. That's a tap water one. You want to see some shit? Change the frequency of your body. And yeah, man. It's like you're in my head because honestly, just the fasting, what I'm doing, I'm awake. Man, I'm going nuts. A whole bunch of things are changing. Coffee doesn't taste right anymore. The food doesn't taste right when I eat. It's pleasurable. It's a pleasant thing occurring right now with my body from the fasting. Over 82 hours, guys. I'm proud of myself as like I'm telling you, because me, I'm a big guy. That's why I'm proud of myself. 297 pounds, possibly even 300. Didn't linger too much on the weight when I tried to weigh myself the first time. At 297, boy, it was actually, sorry, it was 287 when I got the scale. But I had been on diet for a week, lost about 10, 15 pounds. So yeah, 300 pounds. So 297-ish for sure I was weighing that week. I would have loved to have seen how much I lost the first week, but it was quite a bit because I was seeing the cheeks go down myself. Finally, is there anybody out there? Just not if you can hear me. Is there anyone at all? You play any music too, David? Listen, Pink Floyd was my group when I was young. I loved Pink Floyd. Crows in the southern parts of the range appear to be resident and not migrate. Interesting. Christy, how's it going? From California in the house. Thank you very much. We still have 100 watching now. It's dropping. There's fives and tens. Hang on here. I'll say hello. I'll get back into the interesting conversation. How about the whole world being one big Philadelphia experiment? Now you're talking. Think about it. Whole world is wrapped with copper wires and frequency. Yes, from the core outwards. And the core is so radiant. Hey, Mike Worth, that it's possibly lit up or bright. And that's why they don't mention the core. Maybe it's like, yeah, we know, guys, the core is a metal titanium ball wrapped with copper, or something like that. I'm telling you, Nikola Tesla said it himself. One of my mentors said that we could ground the earth to do everything and anything, to use it as a defense mechanism weapon. We use it as an offensive weapon. We can, listen to what's out there in space. We can hear everyone out there in space. We can heat the planet. We can light the planet up, get the lights out for everybody, energy, keep warm in our homes. They can do it today. They can absolutely do all this today, but they're not doing so. But they know how to. That's for sure. That's a good one, Dave. Like the open-minded ones. A lot of them come here. Molly Colley, you're crazy as F. The solar system is not tearing itself. I never said that. I just told you scientists said so. Molly Colley, love you. Self apart. Is this the same scientist for C19? What are you going on now about C19 now? You're crazy as fuck. The solar system is not tearing itself apart. Nowhere did I say that. Go look it up on the news. It just came out. Molly, of course the solar system is tearing itself apart. Of course it is. Don't get mad. I just blocked your ass. You got to speak politely. Some people come here with their children, dear. Be nice. Am I the only one that tries to put a voice to a comment when they read it? Oh, man. Suspicious skies 3045. I always do that. And before meeting the people, you assume, right? Or if you see someone's face, an icon, isn't it easy? You see someone's face and you go, oh, yeah, he's got a voice like, "Rah, rah, rah," or it's easy. And sometimes you're stumped. You listen to them like, oh, you know, that was very polite, Darla. The mods are more lenient than me. It's Bruce that makes the final decision. Love you guys. I had my puppy almost knocked me over. I was in VR creating music. Right on, Dave. Had a lot of high on low notes. The live puppies were sleeping on the couch. Yeah, well, the frequencies. See, that's the most incredible part. Just the same way a cat or a dog. My God, even the birds they react before vibrations arrive on the Richter scale. An earthquake. I was looking for my words. You know, they can sense it. They can sense something happening. Some people can sense it too. Some people can sense it too. You know, I played a trick once on on one of my exes. Had a dog whistle. She wanted to try out a dog whistle in the park on the dogs. I was at the other end of the park, and when I saw her go to blowing it, I stood up on the bench and I went, okay, I'm sorry, but she thought it was me. It lasted 5 minutes. Sneaky, eh? A solar system tearing itself apart because of the sun system we live in now. Absolutely. And suns and stars tear apart and eat and consume planets. By the way, they said that one of the stars or moons, right? Possibly more stars than moons that are in the Jupiter system or near Jupiter would have consumed an exoplanet that was or star that was going by. It would have consumed it. You know, you have the nebulae that are always, guys, you want to look up something incredible, go and read some information, and, you know, sit down with a glass of wine maybe and read about birthing stars. When nebulae give birth to stars, they come out of the nebulae. There's lots of different forms, shapes, and objects, and sometimes perfectly geometrical shapes that are star leftovers, star fragments that come out that don't become developed stars. They'll become an asteroid or a meteor or maybe a comet as they spiral and they come out of the nest or the nebulae. Birthing stars form with the gases inside of the nebulae, much like in the Great Orion Nebulae, and they get heavy and they get dense. And if you look carefully, I have some incredible close-ups of the nebulae. You can see frozen gas or methane, whatever the gas is, lines of it, long tubes going and coming out of these holes. It actually looks like tunnels. It looks crazy. The nebulae itself looks like it's alive. Birthing stars. It's the most incredible thing. You have the sun making giant pieces of plasma. How many asteroids do you think come from that giant CME that let off? Look at Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse exploded 2 years ago. It lost its whole chromosphere, the whole top part of Betelgeuse. It's still recovering. It might never recover. It changed. It's completely changed. It's not one of the brightest stars anymore. Very, very dim. It's changing, right? It exploded. And why? Well, suns react. That's what happens with suns. Suns do explode, right? And it changes the whole bloody system that's around it. But the plasma that came out of Betelgeuse was as wide as the whole solar system, except for Neptune and Mercury, I think. That's how wide that solid plasma that solidified as it came out of the sun, right? In the last video, I show a part of the sun where I didn't even show it yet, actually. Sorry about that. It was blurry. You're looking at the sun on a clear day and it's blurry. That's because there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of movement, there was just an explosion all the time. You know it. They said there was a coronal mass ejection yesterday or today. You go up, you look at the sun, it's blurry. You can tell that there was an explosion, you know. It's hard to see all the differences because the sun, all the different events on the sun are different temperatures and they're also different frequencies. So you need different lenses to be able to see everything that's going on in the sun. But there's always something going on in the sun. Elias, right on, brother. Like that Molly was it was just a troll, definitely. It's not somebody that's even serious. So hey Bruce, hey chats, what's up? True Cyborg, thanks a lot for being here, man. Gerber. Gerber. 62 thumbs up. Thank you all. Thank you very much. There's 110 watching. I want to thank everyone who's looking at the stream right now. Uh, silly trolls. When you look at that number on top, that's the peak view. Those are the number of people that were watching at one given time. Like right now, there's approximately over 1,000 for sure. If there's 100 watching, usually one of my streams usually get 1,800 to 2,000 comments and usually the views too. But it's been really low these days. So whether it be a glitch or that they're keeping us back now, the C11 and the C18 that came out, very concerning. C18 is going to stop us from being able to write things online against in our own opinions and from our minds about Trudeau or anything, and they're going to start giving out tickets to people online. That'll be interesting. That's what I say to Trudeau about the tickets. Bruce, I've been thinking about asking you if fasting has brought you more vivid encounters. Yep. Yeah. A lot more, actually, a lot more activity, and not just activity, some new strange stuff, I guess. Maybe I'm just shooting that out there, or it sounds nuts. Maybe the reason I was overweight and not feeling good and had eye problems and stuff was because of a frequency or bad frequency or entity. I'm not saying that some of these entities can't make you feel bad, but we each have different experiences. Some people were horrified by what they saw. Some people were, in love with what they saw. Some people felt good. Some people felt bad. Many different encounters. But you can't say that everything's a demon, though. I feel. Oh, Gerber. Holy shit. There's a guy called Wally Gerber. I thought they were talking about Gerber, like the baby food. I must be wrong about that. I was 5 the last time I ate a jar, so forgive me. I want to see what the name is because why was my head saying Gerber? It sounded like the baby food. Oh, it is. That's awesome. Hey, you got yourself a popular name, my friend. I've never seen anyone with the Gerber name. We could be talking to the Wally Gerber from the baby food. Wally, it's cool having awesome names. Yeah, Rose. I feel like it, but then again, I don't know if it's because something's going on. Me, there's a lot that has been going on since Christmas around me and people I know. And not everybody always knows things that go on in people's lives. And sometimes we go through things. And often when we have channels, there's certain things that we leave out, and, when there's lots of changes in my life, I tend to see a lot of things happening, but without anything being really a clear event. Always upstairs. I live in an old house. No, hardly ever cracks. It's an old, solid house. It's a friggin' old barn. It's made of brick, big stone or whatever underneath, but you never know. This is not usually a house that shifts or moves. I heard it upstairs, three bangs. One bang behind me, it was right behind me. Someone was banging on that wall right there, and a second bang and a third. And always when I interact, so what I'll say is, hey, that's cool. That's awesome. Three knocks. And I'll go like, and I'll wait. And then you hear like footsteps or something. And then it stops. Nothing violent. You know, uh, the cut foot could have been me. Anyways, it was impossible. Three straight lines. I didn't put straight lines under my friggin' foot, right? Nor did I cut my face, but it never reoccurred. It's not something every day. I don't get scratches every night. It's only happened once or twice, right? It could always be a coincidence, but not everything's a coincidence. Yeah, it was a good question. Thanks for the questions, you guys. I've had several heavy dreams about Port Angeles. Got a connection to be practitioner there. Very awesome, man. If you're like me, I believe that certain connections of people that we meet is for a reason. I think it's for a reason. We can go through things because we meet certain people. You might meet someone that you've never hated so much in your life, but because of that person, you might meet your wife. That's how it is. Suspicious Sky says, I will never own a Ouija board. I respect that. I also heard you're never supposed to throw them away. I heard that too. I ain't going to. You're supposed to burn them to close any gates. And that's where I would tell you not to. I witnessed somebody burning a Ouija board. I heard screams and I saw whatever the hell was in the board leave the fire. Then again, you're burning a bunch of different elements, and it could be that, oh, wow, it looks like a ghost. I get it. But no, there's something to that. There's something to that. Not everyone's just pal pal. Not everyone just talks. Not everyone just talks. Some people are like friggin' warlocks. They have no idea why so much is going on around them, right? So you get some people interested in magic, but they're not all bad people. I never had to look into magic. I looked into it to find out what it was, but I don't do spells. I don't have to. Things happen just by thinking of it. And that's why I like when somebody tells me, Bruce, the matrix could be something that's thought of. It's in a grid, like a brain, right? And we're just feeling pain through receptors and stuff like that. That's I can think sort of that way. I think it's a very interesting theory because I believe that you can change the matrix. I believe that you can do something, but it's very hard. And it might just happen that you try something and the absolute opposite happens. Maybe you're trying to save your life. Maybe it'll kill you. You know, you tell me about it, Wally. Let's leave the solar system. I'm with you. Mystical town. Yeah. Well, this one here is mystical because it's Indian land, right? And all the way up to the river, not far from me where I am here, all down to the St. Lawrence. There were Indians back and forth from that coming across the border. And this was a big section where I am, where there was fur trade and everything. Everything was going on here. There was a lot of things. Then all the little lakes and rivers that go from here and there. You go all the way down to the fort in Coteau-du-Lac. Darla made a video on that fort in Coteau-du-Lac. Beautiful fort. I'd have to get there. And I have to visit there this year and actually take a look. There's a hell of a lot of stuff that happened there. There would be a lot of entities in those regions. Ghost hunting in those regions would be absolutely really cool. Didn't want to blurt it out, but did they say it's a way to become closer spirituality? Thanks for sharing, Rose. Celine loves light. Thanks for being here. Aloha. So beautiful outside these past few days. Glorious. Good for you. Have all rain and cold weather here. And the past couple of days, sun, not warm at all. Today, the first nice day. Nothing warm though. Outside, long sleeves. It's not a very humid, warm day today, but it's nice. Is exactly what I do. Yeah, that's always what I do. And I have a lot of words that I've said myself based on the same idea, you know, in banishing someone. I'm very strong, energy wise, and the willpower when it comes to an entity appearing. Um, I create a wall of energy without me knowing it. And I realize that. And I'm starting to actually, um, that's a bit much. I'll leave it at that. Energy can be distributed. You can probably kill someone with your energy, over a period of time. Sort of like I'll say like one of the comedians say, sort of like a little person choking you for like 3 days straight. A comedian said that. It was hilarious. Thanks for interacting, guys. And thanks for being respectful to one another, too. Like I said, it's a touchy situation where people, when they talk about this subject, a lot of you are thinking about family relatives. As a matter of fact, maybe not maybe, probably at least 3 to 5 of you this evening while watching me saw some stuff on screen. Maybe you saw something in your home. Maybe you got a thought, a chill, or something. They're all around us, but it's whatever it may be. Yeah, you got nothing to lose by trying to banish it in the name of God, and if it works, and then in the name of the blood of Jesus Christ, and make an X, on the four walls in a room or whatnot. You can only do something good. When they start saying that some of the entities don't give a crap about you talking about God, it could be some type of um, evil or just some primitive thing that doesn't understand any common sense. That's another thing. We can't assume that all the spirits that we're seeing are all intelligent people that are coming wandering over on this side of the portal. I'm telling you, you have family relatives that have moved on. There's a way to reach them. And now, I'm not saying that your family relative is sitting there and not going to his other life, because I can understand how that can be insulting. I'm starting to think more and more why people get offended on certain things, and it could be that someone's saying, I believe in the Bible. No, he's gone in heaven and he's up there with God now. He's not floating around getting messages from me. I respect that, but there's a part of them that remains here. When you cross over, you don't cross over with the physical body, you cross over with the soul, but the soul is physical. It's inside of you, right? It's physically invisible. Also, it's a frequency, there's something about it. Maybe it's interacting with your pineal gland. The brain does not cause your creativity. Professional scientists said that. It's incredible. Your creativity comes from something that's outside of you, possibly coming from the pineal gland. Like, I talk about this because I've had encounters. I've experienced some stuff, and I'm not trying to be smarter than anyone else or trying to tell people what to do with spirits and stuff. But I'm telling you, I've done some different experimentation with them, not always assuming that what I'm interacting with is a ghost, trying to see, Ouija, and interacting with some of them. I've always asked, are you on Earth? Name a planet. Why would a Ouija board write Venus for? Do the tests. That friggin' board is shooting out information from somewhere, and I still don't understand it. Really don't understand it. We can go as far as saying maybe the Ouija board is picking up on my subconscious, but I have a problem with that. Leah taught me about what's the name of that group? Americans and the Vietnamese during the war. Viet Cong. Viet Cong. And I remember when she said Viet Cong, I said, "You're from Viet Cong?" No answer. And I said, "You mean Vietnam?" No answer. Hong Kong? Nothing. It took me many years after what I wrote on a little pad to find out that the Viet Cong was an actual effing militia group at the end of the Vietnam War. As a matter of fact, that militia group was spoken about during the pandemic. It's something that's reoccurring. Some military people are in that. Could be many different countries. You could have Americans, Filipinos, Vietnamese, and everything in that. Viet Cong, who were doing horrible things. And this girl, Leah, said that she was in um, her classroom and that there was smoke outside and that was smoke in the room and that she was under her desk and that she was afraid. That's all the information I got out of her or it or whatever. So all that was written out to me very thoroughly and a few mistakes on the Ouija board. And I was able, when I had the internet, to look up Viet Cong. And it went literally at the end of the Vietnam War. I was blown away. I had tears in my eyes because the girl, I was young. I was in school with Terry, my friend, and we were playing that Ouija board. It's not playing, but at that time it was playing. His Highness. Thank you, sir. Love you guys. Thanks, man. Yeah, and that Ouija board told us a whole bunch of stuff. And of course, everybody that plays a board with a friend always goes through the same questioning at the beginning. You're going to doubt your friend. You're going to, you don't want them pushing on that friggin' board. So we did tests. It was blindfold. Okay. We even turned ourselves around using our hands and back. It was moving. It was moving like, I mean, effing crazy that it was moving. But if there's a ghost in that house where I was, there was an entity, and there was, which I have a tendency of thinking if the entity is still there, that could be what is bothering my mother who lives in the house, right? Can they make people feel sick? Can they do things? Who knows? Because the frequencies do make us sick, right? We know about the 5G. We don't know much about it, actually. The satellites, why do you think they're at a certain height? Because they are dangerous for our health, right? The radiation from the frequencies and makes you wonder. We just need some kind of glasses for seeing aurora. I'm sure you can see some things with it. First gen of night vision goggles. And yes, the first gen. I heard all about that, Berg. They turned crazy after seeing entities with it. That's a true story, True Cyborg. You are absolutely right about that. I heard that story. And they talked about, thanks for being here, man. They talked about that. Where did I see? I saw that online. Russians, right? If I'm not mistaken, the Russians were seeing little friggin' dragons flying. And this is a true story, guys. Seems like it. Anyways, it's a story that was supposedly true. It was showing things that people were not comprehending. So that's why when I up and down the exposure and play around a little bit with the filtering simple colors and inversion negative, you can see some things sometimes appear, and not just sometimes, often. Absolutely, Manio. How's it going, Manio? Inter or extra dimensional beings. I believe they exist. I do believe on the outside, on the outskirts of it all. Yes, they can definitely exist. Are we at the 200 likes yet? I don't even see the likes yet. Imagine, unfortunately. I really appreciate the 100 people watching now. And you'll see it takes a long time for you guys to see the numbers of the stream, but at least we'll get some nice numbers. I can usually predict it right on, probably around 800 to 1200 views, and it's greatly appreciated to all of you. It's an interesting conversation. You'd think more would come by when I talk about UFOs. I find myself being disappointed that my husband hasn't come back from the beyond to mess with me. He passed 9 months ago. You know what? Maybe you guys had it really set. In other words, when you were together, that there were no secrets, there were no mysteries, maybe about you guys. Maybe probably mostly madly in love, and whether it be just me picking up on that or from somewhere, or just shooting that out there, and I'm totally wrong. Some people do want a sign, but you do know now that you're going to get a beautiful one, because they won't ever come and haunt you guys, and they're not going to come back and scare you. You know, that is a belief that I have. I can't confirm it to you, but definitely. But if you ask, it could be, unless maybe he's so into his next journey and says, Jules got this, no problem. I mean, there's a connection when we're alive with these people. It's a touchy situation, but it's a beautiful story. I find that when people move on, that we can have a last little something with them. Sometimes, well, 9 months, Jules, it's early. It could be a year, it could be 2 years, or it might be at the right time. Also, you got to say to yourself that. But I tell you, give it a try. As you probably often do when you go to bed and say, I love you. Thanks for watching over me. Well, tell me hello. Don't scare me. Tell me hello if you can. I'm pretty sure. Chris Ness, how's it going? It's been a while since I checked in. I thought I'd say hi and see what's new. I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate all of you guys for coming by. Christy, thanks so much. I wanted to do it and I wanted to talk about it. Not everybody's into it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are into it. I try to keep it interesting. Sometimes bringing up some wacky theories for some, not for me, but for some, the wacky theories can be interesting, right? Because we're all set on the trends. You get a ghost, well, automatically people talk about ectoplasm, wet walls, and one story comes out, then there's another story about someone with a wet wall, and then there's Bruce with his wet floor. Is Bruce just saying the wet floor because he watched Ghostbusters and they're talking about ectoplasm? You know, anybody could be lying, but no, I think it's all pretty real. And I think by now we can say that the movies, which I probably not for nothing, I'm not a movie watcher. Maybe some bad entity didn't want me watching the movies, because some of you people come here that are only movie watchers, okay, that don't research, okay, that come here and talk to me about my research, about everything I have ever seen in my life researching that seventh year, and you talk to me about everything that they talk about in the movies, that everything that I'm showing or even theorizing about has been brought up in a movie, and not a movie 100 years ago there, right? Yeah, because there weren't. It's true. Movies often depict a little possibility, and I think some people picked up on that a couple of years back and are watching the movies to get maybe more information. Thanks for appreciating the subject, Christy. There you go. Center yourself in the center. It's the same thing. We're made of darkness and bright and light. Okay. In general, okay, we need that to center ourselves. I think, that's why we have an angel that says, "Don't hit him." The other one says, "Trip him." We got both sides. Humans are both good and evil. We've seen some people be very, very good, and then all of a sudden turn uh, evil, right? I've seen that many a times. Definitely many a times. You think C11 will affect your channel? John, I really do, man. I do think it's going to affect my channel. I think maybe even it started before. I can't get to band.video every day. When there's certain videos that they're talking about Canada, even in the States, they take down the video. Actually, guys, the video stays there, but it's a box that says your country can't view it. And this is what I'm afraid is going to happen. I think they passed the C11 bill. I'm not positive yet, but the C18 is going to be a lot worse. And if they succeed in passing those, well, freedom of speech will be in peril for Canada. That's for sure. We got rid of some Chinese guy that was here. He's gone home. Can't say anything else than that. You go now is all I'm going to say. You go now because that's the video when the spy plane years ago was up in the sky and China told them, "You go now. You leave here." Remember that? Very thoughtful, Rose. Condolences, Jules. Absolutely. I had a really odd. Oop, 1 second, y'all. Right back. Sorry. Maybe next stream I'm going to talk about something very important. Do you believe that someone could have passed through a portal or been brought into a spaceship or actually been experimented on by the government, maybe put to sleep and put into a device where magnetism is used on the device, whether time travel or not, to test something on you, and that these people will be forever able to approach certain devices, maybe make some certain devices trip. Look at it the way you want. The way I can change some devices and stuff like that. And like I said, by this point, I'm not worried about people that think I'm crazy. It sounds crazy. You'd be nuts to think it was normal, right? But it's really happening. And, more and more that I talk about it, more and more things happen. And uh, a lot of you, probably not a lot of you, but some of you know recently, I had gone with my mom to during Christmas. She bought me a beautiful guitar that I've probably only showed you guys once. I play it every single day, and it was a beautiful gift. But a car almost went right into me, and at the same time, my mom's sitting in a car where I open the door, close the door, let her in the car. She puts on her seatbelt. I go around to the front of the car. I'll just say it really quickly. A woman that was coming on the um, exterior lane, two lanes, both going in my direction, past me. She looked at me, brought her nose down to the steering wheel, and she veered the car. And while she veered the car coming towards me, the whole time she was going, the whole time. She came right at me, and I went like right in front of her face there. It's like someone in the moon there, right? No, she was looking at me, coming right for me. But it wasn't the woman's fault. She stopped right in front of my car, right after the light in Valleyfield, and flipped out. And she waited there. I'm sure she was shaking. She almost killed me. Could have probably killed my mom too with the car. I was right beside my father's cemetery, right? Where he's buried. Um, like I could throw a baseball on his tomb there. That's how close he was there, right? Okay. I'm not joking. And I've had a lot, and I'm very careful talking about this. My dad died in a car accident, guys. Okay. And I always almost get hit by cars when I'm walking, a car backing up into where I was sitting over a bench in a park when I was younger. It's a lot of things happen like that, like a lot. And at the same time, where somebody will be thinking, oh, wow, it's like you could have been killed. Actually, no. It's like I'm always saved or protected. I see things happen way ahead of time. I was in the store. We were talking about energy. I was laughing and telling my mother, look, my name's not in the computer. I've been buying instruments here. I went, all my life, I've been buying instruments here, right? Ever since I started buying my first instrument at 18 or 17 or whatever, many times, many different addresses. My name's always in the computer. And every time I go to a store or any store, what's your name? Oh, yeah, my name's Bruce Schwartz. Nope. Yeah, this is Bruce Schwartz. Have you been here before? Always. It's always. The bank is the same. The government sends me like that once a year tax and provincial sales tax return. Okay, I get a check for like $140 or something like that at that time. That's written to the name of Bruce Schwartz, Schwartz. Then at one point I got a check, and they named it a completely other first name with the right last name. And they're like, "Well, why would you get that?" Not my fault. This there, I started talking about it maybe 3 years ago, like in a very annoying way to my mom. And for the longest time, we said it's coincidence, coincidence. Now she just laughs about it and says, "Your freaking energy shit that's going on, problems on phones." As a matter of fact, I thanked Lisa Eckerly that called me. You guys can ask her. I never talked to her about it. Never probably, brought this up. Sorry to bring it up, Lisa, but um, I interacted and thanked her for the beautiful gifts. She got a whole bunch of beautiful stuff, like a lot of you do here, and for me, very thoughtful. So I wanted to thank her, and she couldn't. Um, Either it was her that couldn't hear me, yeah, and then me at one point I couldn't hear her. This always on the phones, and if I have a cell phone, everything's tripping. The cell phone's changing all when I'm holding it, and I put my hand on a cell phone screen just close to the screen. All the applications open up. It opens and closes. The phone opens and closes. Watches don't stay longer than 2 weeks on me, and I don't do any acid. But it's a lot of stuff like that happens that I believe, I was saved in an accident when, uh, you know, uh, by mistake, turning on a road, my CB fell in the bottom frequencies. My CB, I was doing a chasse mobile. None of you are going to know what that is unless you do CB. Anyways, we're doing a hunt. We have what do we call them? The baby meter, the jumbo meters. We had Milson Will at one point there. I had my antenna, I had a K40. We were doing hunting with directionals putting the antennas on a car to try to locate other people modulating. It's a thing that people do when you do CBs. And when the CB fell in the bottom, I went like I had my seatbelt on. I said, "Shit!" I had found the car that was hidden, and I went to grab the receiver. I went like that, receiver looking up. And when I looked up, I turned my head to grab it, and I went like this with my wheel. And I just to say touched the post on the edge. It's a small road there. So it's not like on the highway. It wasn't going like 100 kilometers an hour. It doesn't matter. I was going 60 or 70. And I turned and then hit the post. And when I hit the post, I wasn't in the car. I was behind the car. I saw the ass lift up, and I also heard the guy say, "Holy shit, your ass lifted right fucking up your car, man." I was driving a scoop. The wheel was sitting in the passenger door inside of the car, right where the feet would have been. Didn't feel a thing. My head went through the windshield with my arm and my hat. As I was going forward, my hat went like that. It stood up, and the hat slid down in front of my face, right to my nose. Hit the windshield with the hat, backed up. The hat went back up, and I opened my eyes, and I remember looking at the windshield, going, "What the fuck?" I was mad. Like, what did I hit? Not driving car. What the hell's going on? With it, just a moment of lapse. When you're talking to somebody that's you're driving and you got somebody with you, and you don't stop looking at them when you're talking. Don't do that. Don't. I never got in an accident again. Touch wood. But you know, I tell you to ask my brother or my mother. My brother probably won't remember, but my mother knows that the first car that I had, I mean, the accidents were weird. I mean, there's 3 to 5 people that hit me when the garage lent me a courtesy car. I scrapped all their freaking cars at Toyotas, one after the other. They wouldn't lend me anymore. One, a stone from a 10 wheeler. The other one, I went to place the mirror and the whole windshield cracked. The other one, it was another rock. He goes, "No way. No way." He goes, "Where the hell are you going?" I said, "Nowhere. I'm going to work." And a car went by and I got a stone in the windshield. It's not my fault. He goes, "That's the third car, you know." He goes, "There's no more cars covered on the insurance to be able to. So coincidences like that, it's not all coincidences, and it's happened to me So many things like that. I mean, I'm sure some of you have had probably the same experiences. We're actually going to have to talk about this maybe partly on Friday because I find this conversation really interesting, and I didn't get to see half. Obviously, the unknown is here. Hey, Brian, what'd you miss, brother? Nothing, man. Bruce is just talking about ghosts again. DL, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, Rose, but you don't feel like that. You know what happened? I was a young boy who lost his dad, and I wanted him to come see me. I wanted God to let me go and visit him. And I asked God to make my body, I was 12 years old. I remember very well at 12 years old asking God to make my body a portal to the other side so that my dad would be able to come and see me. But you got to think of a kid in the head of a 12-year-old, maybe some entity or being heard that. And like a lot of you think that they would have attacked me. No, I feel that somebody from the spirit world, with all my heart, came on this side to protect me against a negative entity, not human. That there's a negative entity that was around me because I wanted to see my father, and I probably let something in. And since then, I've been protected. I feel it. I feel I've been protected. Not just feel it, I've lived it, experienced it, being protected. Alien Girl 111, thank you for being here. How's it going, Alien Girl? Hi to you. Thanks for coming by the chat, you guys. The unknown again. Thanks again. What's he doing? What's he doing, Wally? Day the door open into the washroom and a drop of brown, oily liquid hit my sock. My first thought was to check the door handle to see if it was wet. Was it wet? You know what? I'm not sure, Chris. Sure, that was shit. They told you to watch yourself, Chris. Be a good boy. Not a pleasant thing that people want to hear while they're eating supper, buddy. I do know some gross channels, though. Dr. Stephen Greer contacts them using meditation technique. I think I say Dr. Stephen Greer contacts them using medication. That would have been funny. My friend from Florida, how's it going? Aster. Am I pronouncing that right? My friend in Florida with also a 14-inch scope. He let me know a couple of days ago that he was enjoying viewing the moon also. He's got a very good camera, a Nikon D850, set up just like me. Watch what he's going to see. He's probably going to see a lot of stuff. He's already started seeing stuff. Hey, Marcelo. Gracias, man, amigo. Marcelo. Espero que te están todos bien. Very well. I hope you are doing well too. Bienvenidos a todo. Todo for one, todos for two. No. Tat for two. Muchas gracias, Marcelo. Age Nos, how's it going? Hey, I love you for it, brother. Thanks a lot, man. That means a lot. Goodbye, my friend. Well, it's time to go. Boom, 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 boom. Used to be very sad when I heard that play, that song. And the Sha Na Na used to sing it because I was going to bed after that. Remember that? The Sha Na Na. Going back to probably many years ago to remember that shit. Hey, 89 in Florida, suspicious skies. More of my Floridian friends. Beautiful state, that Florida. Jupiter hid behind the moon, big event, lots of frequency. Damn right, Dave. Yes, and the alignments and stuff. Absolutely. It's a lot of energy that's exerted when there's an alignment. The solar system is off. There could be something that we did that put a solar system off. I don't think so. I think maybe possibly the reason why all the planets are out of whack. And listen, guys, for those of you not following exactly what happened to the planets, Jupiter lost its storm. It's raining, okay, on Saturn, freezing rain, which is changing its state, that water in the atmosphere. And it's also changing the atmosphere around um, Saturn. Okay, they found planets that two more ringed planets. Now, not only Jupiter and Saturn and Neptune have rings, there's other one, right? They have the sub Neptune exoplanet 40 light years away that they found water vapor around it, and the professionals have no idea why there's water vapor around something so far out. Maybe all the planets are floating in water. Maybe they are really floating in water. Hey, guys, thanks for coming in. And to all that I missed, of course, I can't get to everyone, of course, when I talk because it was interesting. But I want us to continue this conversation if you guys don't mind. If you don't mind one of the streams, I'd like us to talk again about the unknown. Hang in there, Darla. And don't get discouraged if they're, that's the problem, with when they don't know what friggin' the medications to give. I don't know whether you have medication, antibiotics. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it changes the way you feel and plays with your weight, and it really F's you up. Doctors really screw up, your metabolism sometimes. Pat, thanks for being here, guys. Eliana, thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry for the ones I missed. Brian Carpenter again. And Jason, thanks for coming in. Jason Smith. Could have maybe mixed them up with another Smith. I have about 16 Smiths here now. Where? Yes. Alien Girl. There's a good one for you. Nice little looker here. I think he's a male. Actually, they don't have any sex, so it's very hard to find out. Thanks for having stopped by, everyone. From Christy Lindsay to Darla to everyone for being here. I thank you so much. Alexis Williams. I can only imagine who I missed. I can handle being up late. Alexis Williams, thanks a lot, my brother. I can handle being up late. Yeah, maybe so. We'll get together on it. Absolutely, man. And if it's not late, it doesn't have to be. First stream in the afternoon on Friday is at 1:00. If you prefer 3:00, instead of coming on like a zombie, man, like I said, feel absolutely free these Fridays. If not, when you get up on Saturday, man, we can do it Saturday. Like I said, it's so totally up to you. I'm not so busy this Saturday, and only Sunday, my little game of chess, and I talk to my son every week later in the evening. So you got many days, man. Like I said, even Saturday, maybe you want to get up Saturday afternoonish or early morning, whatever. You let me know, man. I'm more than happy to talk with you, brother. Thanks for the interest in the channel too, man, and all the support you guys are giving to the channel. Really appreciate that. If you notice anything that challenges the official narrative gets a shadow ban. You're right, John Smith. Absolutely everything, whether it be talking about, Epstein. We got to be careful everything we're talking about now because there's certain things that you just can't say, right? And more, they're really grabbing us by the nuts, clamping down on anything that we can really say. But you're right about that. Anything that, whatever challenges the official narrative, you said it. You said it best. It's true. And thanks again, Space Stuff, for coming by. Yes, Kazoo, and his first name. Kazoo's his family name now because his first name is Dean. Dean DeBaldi. Named him after one of my trolls. Not a recent one, some older ones. Pat, an hour later. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thanks, you guys. Love you guys for it. Sorry, man. Sorry, Pat. Pat's probably saying, well, he didn't see that, did he? It's amazing. Suspicious guys, I think that's incredible. Uh, Same here, man. I really enjoy that. I wish I had made more. I got one or two up on YouTube. One of an old church, one of an abandoned town. It was actually the town in Saint Anisette, what is now known as Saint Anisette in Quebec. And there's a town that was flooded when Hydro Quebec opened the dams. When they opened those dams, they opened the dams and it went into that trench that they dug, and then it jumped out and it went over many towns and flooded a lot of people. Maybe even some people even got killed. And then some towns were abandoned. And that is one of the towns that was abandoned. I went and visited a priest's house. A lot of energy there, guys. Sometimes you walk in and it's just overwhelming to feel the energy. Don't forget, there's an automatic feeling for a lot of people before they go in because you're thinking of it. But it's easy to differentiate. Having the heebie-jeebies and actually feeling a frequency, it can sort of, I don't feel afraid. The emotions are not there. Sort of like in a vivid trance where I'm waiting for information. I don't want to sound like a robot, but I'm just waiting for something to happen and I'm not scared. I'm just looking, very intrigued. And then when it disappears, then it's where it's like you get excited that it happened. It's like you realize what the hell just went on. But even me myself, every single time there's a spiritual encounter, the first 2 or 3 hours, I'm always saying, I did see that, eh? I did see that. You're wondering. You almost doubt yourself having seen something. Perfectly timed. And as you were saying it, now I feel like coughing. Subliminal messages. He's going to cough. He's going to cough. He's going to cough. Hey, brother, I am Kai in the house. Little cracking, crunchy noise. Those teeth are gone. Hey, you fix the tooth, brother? Are you still liking that little Batmobile? He emails me the other day, Snotmobile. Hi, Norma C. Oh, no. Redacted. The Marians. Hi, welcome to Redacted. Maybe all the people from Redacted will stop by here and take a look at me. Same here, I am Kai, honestly, all my life. So many I feel spirits are interdimensional. Most likely there are some for sure. Scott Robinson, thanks a lot for being here, guys. Sorry for the long delay on reaching back to you all. God created the universe, says Dave. So he made them too. Oops, we agree on that one, brother. We both agree on that one, 100,000%. Somebody asked me, there's demons, there's bad entities, where are they from? It says in the Bible, God created everything in the universe, above and below the firmament. So everything that's here was created by our God. And that makes a lot of people, I don't know why, Dave, but a lot of religious people would actually be concerned about hearing that. A lot of religious people will want to, add something. Well, yes, but no, but, yes, but no, but that's what they try to do. Like that blonde in Little Britain. Yeah, but no, but no, but yeah, but no. I hope you guys know what's. I hope you know which stories I'm talking about because I'm not going to say the guy's nuts. It's a beautiful time to be alive. My heart chakra is on fire. Charlene Sampson, that's beautiful. And a lot of us get a little chance in life sometimes for short moments. Sometimes some of us wait all our lives to have good moments occur because life is really beautiful. It's more beautiful than it is not beautiful. Some good things happen. Sometimes I think we just have to help things occur, make things happen in your life. I could have lost weight years ago. You know, I was complaining about my sore eyes, and it turns out that it was the food. So here's the funny part, guys. Over 80 hours of fasting, 82 hours, have 3 small pieces of meat. Okay. But I put spices on them. I put the spice on them, must be that. And now I'm thinking I put those spices on everything. Bruce puts that shit on everything. And if there's, I didn't realize, my mother herself told me, she goes, you do know that some spices have wheat in it, right? I'm like, because I never knew if I was allergic to wheat or not. But since I stopped eating bread, cheese, rice, potatoes, pasta, I don't have any problems. Yesterday I had a little bit of a problem, but it's not so bad. Once in a blue moon, it's not so bad, eh? Thanks again for coming in, guys. Before it's already 7:12. Hey, Norma C., the head of the Russian version of NASA, is asking for any available evidence of the U.S. landing on the moon. Norma C., giving me chills. I hope you're still listening in, and if you are, thanks for being here, and thanks for everything, Norma C. Beautiful letters too at the same time. Beautiful cards up there that Margaret gives me. Beautiful emblem there. Do you guys believe in energy? I do. Somebody sends me something like Kai, like Lisa Eckerly, Christy. It's all beautiful emotions and gestures that you guys send me stuff based on what I say and what I like and stuff. It's awesome. But I believe that those things have energy. And I believe that if Kai sent me this beautiful arrowhead, incredible by the way, if Kai sent me that, it's because there's energy in it. Whoever's held it, whoever made it, whoever, whatever, there's energy in stones. Back in the Egyptian times, we thought they were wearing jewelry, and apparently they weren't wearing gold around their necks and on their heads and on piercings because it was beautiful. It was more of to be in tuned with a frequency. I heard that and my mind was blown. So that is crazy interesting. It's crazy interesting. Inlined, some of them with the pineal gland or the third eye, what some can say. So this really was an interesting stream, honestly, I have to say. I thank everybody. So sorry for the ones I missed, and sometimes always the best ones that I miss. Right on, Stephen A. I always said that climate change was a problem with the sun, but multinationals negotiate with the climate. Marcelo, C, amigo, you are right. I agree with you. I agree that it's del sol. Definitely the sun. I agree with you on that. You're right, Marcelo. Norma C remembers it. Awesome. Yeah, a very heavy bag. It was on a hook. Started moving away from me and moved when I asked it. So thanks a lot for the thumbs up, all of you also. Thanks again, Marcelo. Merci beaucoup, Crazy Music Space Jam. Guys, check out his collection of guitars. He has it nice and set up behind him now. He collects guitars. He fixed his guitar and redid it completely from A to Z. He's got some cool stuff. And of course, it's Elias Valhatla. So you guys know Elias. He is a French guy that works his ass off at streaming in English because we get a lot of English people that go over to his channel. I think that's pretty cool. Thanks to all the mods. Thanks to everyone who's not a mod that you come here quite simply for the first time, maybe to see what I'm all about, to see what the channel is all about. If you want real UFO videos, and if you want some video research that actually reached the hands of the Pentagon, I waited 7 years to brag about it. I think I deserve a little bit of credit. They spoke about me. They showed the work. They looked at the work. I got interacted with some people in ufology. Got to meet John Lear. I got Gary McKinnon that messaged me in a comment, very friendly, said they enjoyed the work. So I got to meet some really, 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 really cool people. Gary McKinnon, are you for hire, brother? I always wanted to make a song with Gary McKinnon. He's a man of many talents, Gary McKinnon. And, you know, hey, Crawlface, if you're listening, sending you some energy, man. I just thought of you. Maybe you're thinking of me. That's the address, guys. Andrew Lepensi, thanks for being here. Rose. Hey, Julie Stats. Oh my God, here I was looking for you at 4. So Bruce doesn't change at times enough. Sorry about that, Julie. I see you lost in your comment area. And here you are. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Julie Stats, for being here. And again, thanks, Julie, for rejoining us, member. I love you guys for it. Andrew says Elon Musk would be warning the world if it was OpenAI. Yes, he wouldn't shut it down. Absolutely. He's warning the world about Google's DeepMind AI as a massive danger to humans. Smart man. You're absolutely right. I agree with that 100%. Thank you. Norma C. and everyone who appreciated me talking about these very unusual and weird, eccentric um, things that I talk about my energy. I honestly don't talk to a lot of people about it openly because I never met another person except for that, you know, one lady. We always talk about energy together. Some people really do have the energy interaction and just sounds absolutely nuts. I know. Charlene Sampson, keep that energy flowing, sister, by the way. Damn right, guys. Thank you, Julie Stats. I love you guys. Gate Smasher, if you're listening, love you, brother. Thanks to you all for stopping by the channel because you all are the reason why this channel is growing. I'm going to end the stream right now, guys. But I do want to thank you all for the incredible support to the channel. So YouTube has many glitches. Obviously, now with the C11 bill, but long before that, my channel and a lot of your channels and some of you have been shadow banned. Maybe a post, commenting a post, you've been shadow banned. So if you believe in the research, and even if you don't believe in the research, leave a comment. You know, leave a comment without attacking other community members. Attack me, not the members, because I like interacting with the trolls, anyways. And not a lot of trolls on this channel. We are basically one really happy family here at the streams. It's very troll limited. We have a lot of fun interacting now. It happens, a few once in a while, which is only normal. You'd think that there would be trolls every stream. I'm a little worried that there's not, new people coming in, but there will be. That's for sure. Johnny Five, thanks so much again, you guys. Yo, Bruce, thank you, man. Thanks. You guys rock. Kimberly Glippen, thank you very much for becoming a member. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the videos. Anything you need to know, don't be shy to interact. And honestly, the people in the community here, um, most of them are all open minded. Well, all the ones here are open minded. So you guys can interact. Some people, I see a lot of you going to bat for me saying, oh, well, one guy wanted to know the fundraiser site. You had shared that, this is a free channel. When you come here and enjoy it, I have the ads on the videos, and donations to come in are helping the channel. And aside from that, we're doing good. Views are limited. It'd be nice to see some new people come in. So, with Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic 003, I did an interview with him. We got about 60 or 70 subs, which is really cool. But there was a limit because we got trolls unsubbing 200-300 channels. So wonder who that is. It's old trolls many years ago. It's been going on for a long time. I love you guys. Kimberly, welcome to the new members side. And they changed everything because it wasn't called new members. It was actually YouTube likes changing stuff. And I can't thank you enough. I hope to see you in the community, Kimberly, to check out the last few videos, some interesting videos too. Johnny Five, everybody. Thank you very, very much. And I'll talk to you all very, very soon. I love you guys very much. So I hope it was an interesting topic. I hope you were interested in talking about spirits and spirituality and whatnot, even though I'm sure I missed a lot of comments. I always try to get to them all. I'll see you very, very soon. If you haven't seen the last video, take the time to do so. Not everybody has to leave a comment, but when you have time for a thumbs up or comment, it helps the creators. Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon. Love you guys.